In Part 8 of Plant Pest Survey Planning, we will explain how can a plant health officer at headquarters of competent authority prepare brief instructions for field inspections of survey sites. This is needed that the surveyors and inspectors can be instructed where and how they will try to detect a specific quarantine pest foreseen for monitoring this year. In our project, we have prepared an example of regional phytosanitary monitoring plan for quarantine pests in annual survey. In this tutorial, we will see how to prepare brief information for it, what information is crucial for survey protocol, some examples of grouping, and a survey breakdown in numbers. As the surveillance of regulated pests is financed from the state budget, the single authority for plant health in each country prepares a justification for use of the budget. The survey indicators are such measurable elements of the plant actions where we can record numbers of pest survey protocols carried out, number of visual inspections and samples tested, a percentage of crop and or forest areas with host plants population which is surveyed annually, a number of pest records updated, and if any quarantine pests detected at all. Last but not least, a number of plant health experts involved in survey programs is also an important indicator. With this paperwork and the instructions for surveyors, the competent authority actually performs coordination of inspection bodies and delegated bodies involved. For each body is there a description of the organization by its name, then is the organization official or contracted, and what activities they are responsible for, like inspection, sampling, testing, or analysis. An essential information is also a contact person of the organization, and maybe a list of all experts involved is useful that shows preparedness for emergency actions if needed in case of a pest outbreak. And how to prepare brief information for instructions for surveyors. We used multi-annual survey planning tools developed by our project. This is described in previous tutorials. In brief, MASP tool is actually a database of regulated pests and plants with key information for risk-based survey design. From multi-annual table, we select each year by risk ranking the priorities for surveillance. These are listed in annual survey planning table. When you open the MASP tools, a warning may appear on potential security concern. Do not worry, this is the default setting for macros in Excel table. The MASP planning tool is prepared in the form of a macro-enabled Excel file for creation of multi-annual plant health survey programs and for their annual breakdown. So before start working, when the file is still closed, you need to enable macros. In the Explorer, you select Properties, General, and the block. But first assure that you have received the file from the original source. Later, do not change the basic tables and drop-down menus to assure proper run of macros. And what information is crucial for survey protocol? We decided to prepare a one-page information for each survey protocol with the essential data as you can see on the template. This template is prepared in Word so that mail merge function could be used. With this, we connect data source of Excel table with selection of pests for annual plan. With asterisk, a column name from Excel file is marked. During the mail match, a variable data is printed in the template. When a mail match function in Word is done, this is an output of merging. Later, we do only some editorial work and add some photos and links to the ready-to-use survey protocol. This describes in the first part the aim of the survey. This is detection of priority insect, emerald ash borer. Then what would be the impact if it enters? It would be high. The EU regulations as management group, pest category and measures. Then there are links to the original survey cards information of European Food Safety Authority and European Plant Protection Organization. Global distribution is described, where actually pest is present and can enter by pathways of introduction. Then in the second column we have some other information on documents which are also important for further work in case of outbreak. Contingency plan is prepared also here. We have diagnostic protocols for laboratories. Then we have type of survey report, which is now still non-statistical in 2025, but it will be statistically based in 27. Then if communication material is prepared for communication with stakeholders and public, and other information which we think is appropriate. Then we specify risk of introduction, which is here high, and even natural spread could be possible from the area where it is present, and what the targeted host plants are. In the second part of the survey protocol, we describe also risk area for surveys, then timing for the surveys, this is June to November here, if trapping is possible and what kind of traps are used, and then what survey sites will be described in our survey reports, in the open areas and also in physically closed conditions. Then we specify sampling metrics, which are targeted organisms which are trapped, wood and single plant if this is necessary. So with this, we have all necessary information for the targeted survey of one pest. With the regional instructions prepared for surveyors, the beneficiaries are advised to concentrate their survey efforts on the 47 pests in 2026 and beyond, taking into consideration the risk assessed at regional and country level and their available capacities. The implementation may be in the form of gradual increase of the scope of pests to be surveyed in the next years. A survey protocol was developed for each of those pests, providing a structured summary of key information necessary for the planning and implementation of the surveys. As an example of grouping of surveys on the survey sites, we show here a trapping and surveying in deciduous forest, which previously described the Gryllus pennipennis survey could be combined with Anoplophora gabrypennis. We put survey traps for each of the species in deciduous forest and do the inspections during the appropriate time in the season. The second example is grouping of trapping and surveying in coniferous forest sites around the risk areas. We can combine Siberian conifer silk moth with pine pitch canker and pine wood nematode. We could detect all those quarantine pests in the survey sites, which are in the nurseries, in the forest, also in the public sites, and also in the wood industry and at the points of the entry. At the headquarters of competent authorities, the risk managers are responsible also for financial resources of the budget. Survey activities reflect field visits on standard duration of 2.42 hours per field visit. This is regardless of the type of pest being examined for the type or service provided, whether by official personnel or through service contracts, which include a salary profit markup to 18%. Calculation of field inspection unit cost is dependent on gross national income. An average gross salary of surveyors is this measurable indicator. Contracted delegated bodies may be eligible also for 7% of overhead costs to the direct costs of field inspection units. Usually, we need to divide the available budget accordingly to the identified risk and priorities for action, that we get a number of inspections per survey site type per year. The risk manager of Plant Health Single Authority prepares an annual breakdown of budget for surveillance a year before the implementation. They need to plan not only the costs of inspection of survey sites, but also overhead costs and costs for testing of samples in official laboratories. And what is extremely important, they need to plan also a reserve budget for eventual delimiting survey in case of positive confirmation of quarantine pest. At the survey breakdown, the risk manager finally distributes the number of survey sites for inspection and sampling to responsible survey providers. Such numbers are usually reflected also in the multi-annual national control plan for a certain period. After this is done, the breakdown tables for annual survey go for last round of consultation with all survey providers. This should be done early enough to catch the growing season. As the inspection and delegated bodies accept the plan, they need also to report. This is by statistical regions, we recommended NATS level 2, by organizational units, from different epidemiological units, about number of inspections and sampling. If you are interested in survey reporting, see our next video.